Come one, come all. It's story time with an alchemist. The great work begins now. It was a particularly quiet night in the fields of Russia. The shepherd boy, Yuri, was standing alone, watching over his sheep tending to his responsibility, while the other sheep herders were tending to their own sheep or maintaining the fire that they would frequent when they needed warmth. Yuri began to watch over his sheep, and from the distance he saw a wolf. And Yuri began to scream out, "Wolf! Wolf! There is a wolf!" And all the other shepherds come running in and to beat and throw stones and spears and fire at the wolf. And the wolf scurried away. Well, Yuri, while sitting out there, began to feel alone again. And he remembered how everybody came running when he cried out, "Wolf." He remembered how they stood around and talked to one another for about 15-20 minutes after he cried, "Wolf." So Yuri, standing out there alone again, feeling alone, he cried out, "Wolf! Wolf! There is a wolf!" And all the other sheep herders and all the other men came running in looking for the wolf, waiting, looking, but they could not see the wolf. And they look at Yuri and they say, "Where, Yuri, is this wolf? You cry out wolf, but we see no wolf. Boris, do you see a wolf?" "Nah, do not see a wolf either." So they go back, thinking that maybe the wolf ran simply because Yuri cried out wolf. But then about 30 minutes later, again you hear the crying out, "Wolf! Wolf!" Yuri is crying out, "Wolf! Wolf!" Sheep herders run in and they're looking and they're searching through the darkness, looking for the red glowing eyes of the wolf, but yet they do not see the red glowing eyes of the wolf, and they say, "Yuri, once again you have called out wolf, but we see no wolf. Where is this wolf that you call?" And Yuri says that, "Well, I thought I saw the wolf. I was looking and I thought I saw a wolf and I saw the red glow of his eyes, but maybe I was mistaken again." So this time, they did not conversate any longer. They did not conversate. They all went back to their positions, frustrated. Boris speaking to himself, like, what is with this boy? This boy, Yuri, he keeps calling out the wolf. We run over. We're ready to defend the sheep, but there is no wolf. What if wolf come and take my sheep? And while I'm over here looking at Yuri's, and it's very frustrating. And just as Boris was completing his thought, he hears the cry again, "Wolf! Wolf!" Yuri is crying out, "Wolf! Wolf! There is a wolf! It is coming to take our sheep! Wolf!" And all the shepherds, they run in again, and to their horror, they find that there is no wolf. There is no wolf again. And this time they grab Yuri up by his clothing and they say, "Why do you continue to call out wolf when there is no wolf? Why would you continue to make us run from our sheep to your sheep and there is no wolf? You are a liar. You are a liar, Yuri. Stop calling out wolf." And they throw Yuri to the ground, and Yuri looks and he says, "I just simply thought I saw a wolf." Angry, everyone returns to their posts. About an hour later, the call comes out again. "Wolf! Wolf! There is a wolf!" Everyone recognizing this is Yuri. He's calling for a wolf. There is no wolf. We will not run again. This foolish child thinks that we are fools, we are idiots, and we will not run again. And you hear the cry again, "Wolf! Wolf!" And then after so long, they say, we will not pay attention to his call. The next morning, while everyone makes their way back to their main camp area, everyone is bringing their sheep in. They start to notice that Yuri is not among them. So Boris, he goes out to look for Yuri. He gets out to where Yuri is normal, and he sees the stains of blood on the rocks. He sees that multiple sheep are missing, while the other sheep just miranda around. And then he sees the footprints of a wolf. He calls the other shepherds. He said, there is a tragedy. Boris has seen that Yuri was carried away by a wolf. He is gone from us, and we did not attend him. And although Boris felt horrified that he did not come to Yuri's rescue, another comes and he says, hey, he kept crying out wolf when there was no wolf. So why should we have come when there really was a wolf? So from that time forward, no one cried wolf unless there really was a wolf. And this has been Storytime with an Alchemist. Many of you already know this story, the boy who cried wolf. Meaning that he cried it out so many times and tricked the people because he was just thought it was a joke. And in Yuri's case, he was lonely. And he cried out wolf, and then when there really was a wolf, no one came running to their aid. This lesson can be put in many different areas of life, of crying out falsities, or crying out things when we perceive them to be that, or even jumping the gun and crying something or labeling something as such before it has an opportunity. But in this title, I said racism. A few days ago, everybody that I know of was in uproar over Dove and their commercial of the black girl taking off her shirt and then she's white. But when I watched the entire commercial, I noticed that the white girl takes off her shirt and she becomes a Latina. She becomes Spanish, Hispanic. She becomes darker than a white person. And I started to think that this commercial, maybe that's not what their intent was. And so I looked at another piece of Dove's commercial print material, and they had a brown-skinned black woman, then the white woman, and then again a Latina woman. So although ill-placed, although not fully thought out, do I think the executives of Dove, the advertisers of Dove, came out intentionally to be racist, to put forth a message that people can claim as racist? No. Do I think that people are so sensitive that they saw the first 2 seconds and made a judgment and made a decision? Yes. Some things are racist. When you go back and you look at some of these old pictures, yes, this was racist. Some of these old pictures. But I don't believe that they were hearkening on to that time frame. I believe that they just made a mistake, that their intentions weren't to call out racism. And so many people I know threw out their Dove soaps because of the initial impact. We have to be mindful. We have to recognize that if you flood everything as racist, if you flood everything as being biased, then when things really aren't, you won't notice them. And when things really are, those who have power won't notice them, because they will say, everything they say is racist. Everything this person does is racist. It's kind of like saying that no person, that a person who does bad things can never do anything good. It's like I've met people, this is a weird thing. And I've met some of these people, this is a weird thing. You can go to a prison and you find all these guys in a prison. They're murderers, they're rapists, they're thieves. They've done things that are despicable to the human race. But let a child molester come in there. Most of those guys have either children or they have nieces, nephews. They will hate and kill and be totally against that child molester. But yet they murdered somebody. They stole from somebody. They burned somebody's house to the ground. But there's a code, kind of a weird code of honor to the child molester. I get it. I do get it. But even the most despicable person has done something good. Because even the best person has done something wrong. You can't help it. No one is total good. No one is total bad. There is always degrees. There's always a situation, an instance. Now, of course, the overwhelming character of a person, we must we will judge them by that. We will deal with them by that. But everything that a person does is not wrong. Everything that a company does is not racist. Everything that comes out that involves different races is not racist. Every cop that shoots a black man is not racist or is afraid of white people, afraid of black people. Is there a lot of injustice? Yes, there's a ton. But I've been pulled over several times. My front light on my car was out, and I got pulled over. But it's not racist. And I had no problems. The police officer, we was out there trying to fix it with me, and there was no problem whatsoever. And it was dark, and I was in a part of my city where people were like, "Oh, you gotta watch yourself over there." I had no problem whatsoever. And as a matter of fact, when I got 2 miles down the street, I got pulled over again by another cop, and I just explained to him, I said, the other cop down the street just told me that, and he was like, well, maybe if we shake it, sometimes you can shake it, and there was no problem whatsoever. Some people are gonna say, oh, you're just lucky. But out of all the police stops that happen in America, 99% of them do not end in death. Should we be attentive to the ones that do? Should we investigate the ones that do? But what we should not do is jump the gun. You cannot cry wolf every time. You have to evaluate the situation, because when everything comes out, and if you find out you're wrong, you find out you unjustly persecuted somebody, you unjustly labeled somebody, then you've done more damage than that person. But more than that, you've done more damage to your character, of your believability. How about that? So we must be mindful, and we can't take up every case and everything. We must evaluate things first. So before you cry wolf, before you cry racism, let's evaluate the situations first. Let's evaluate the people. Let's evaluate the totality of it. I do not believe Dove was being racist. I think that they just, what's funny? If they had just switched the order, I guarantee you no one would have said anything. If they would have went from, if the girl would have pulled a shirt, if the girl was white and she would have pulled the shirt off and she was black, you know what? Because if she pulled the shirt off, she was black. Then people probably say that, oh, now they trying to make white people into black people. They just want to be black. So maybe they should have went the white girl, the Latina girl, then the black girl. I don't know. But then people would have said that, well, why the white girl got to be first? You see, you just can't please everybody. So now, like I said, those older commercials, those older things back in the day, Jim Crow days, before Jim Crow days, yes, that's just straight racism. But I don't think Dove was being racist. But more than that, please, 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 please research all your information before you make decisions. Before you determine what something is, especially when you're dealing with somebody else's mind and somebody else's intentions, do your research first. This has been Storytime with an Alchemist. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Please support me on my Patreon channel. And there are going to be more in-depth videos, as well as training courses and on different things from business to relationship to spirituality. So support me on my Patreon. That's patreon.com/Coach Renz. And if you want to engage me as far as being your personal coach, then just contact me at masteringyu10@gmail.com, or on my website, Coach Renz, or Facebook, Coach Renz. Yeah, have a great day. Bye. Well, Facebook is Coach Renz 33. Have a great one.